So Joaquin right now is a 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Even though the forecast track is showing Joaquin going to be going north and east, by Sunday they think it's going to be right here. A new track is showing something completely different and very worrisome. So here's Joaquin right here, 1,002 millibars. Here's what Joaquin does. Becomes a hurricane. There's Joaquin as a hurricane going northward. And then what Joaquin does, it just shocks me. It doesn't. I did expect this, but it still shocked me. I completely expected this, actually. And I was telling the meteorologist at the National Weather Service that this will happen. And now, in fact, the GFS is confirming this. It's going to be hooked inwards. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And why? Let's look at temperatures at 500 millibars, and you could probably tell why. See this trough right here? It's going to hook Joaquin northward. If this trough just goes a little further to the north, Joaquin will go out to sea. Or will not go as far south and will go further to the north, which means in New York City landfall, maybe Massachusetts, or maybe Canadian Maritimes. So even though the GFS is showing a left-hand turn right into the mid-Atlantic, models may show something different. And after Joaquin makes landfall, and that'll be cold core, maybe still a little bit tropical, but mostly cold. It will still be a powerful tropical storm or extra tropical storm. I don't know what it will be, but based on what the models are showing, probably transitioning by now. And going to the northeast, let's go to the northeast and see what's going to happen. It will just dump rain, like tons of rain. I mean, at least a foot of rain. From everything combined, at least a foot of rain. I mean, here's a foot of rain showing up right here. Here's because of orographic lifting, or you have Appalachian Mountains here, and the rain will just backlash against Appalachian Mountains, and this is before Joaquin makes landfall. The moisture just backs up against the mountains from the north and the east. And then, Joaquin still 985 millibars, even after almost a day after making landfall. This is actually in less than a day after making landfall. Look where it is. Joaquin is off the coast of North Carolina in only 12 hours. Hour 117, it already makes landfall. This is probably Joaquin going at speeds of probably 30, 40 miles an hour. I mean, that is a very fast-moving storm. And then Joaquin, what it does, it just stalls, and then it goes northeast. I mean, so Joaquin does this. So Joaquin does impact. This is essentially a worst-case scenario, and I want all people, especially in this area, to pay attention and be very, very mindful. Here too, for flooding rains, this entire area, the northeast, should just be on alert, but especially along the coast. And if you live in the mountains, be alert. But I am more concerned about areas from southern Delaware all the way up to Long Island and even Massachusetts. Because if that upper level low just goes a little bit to the north, the whole track could change. It could even go out to sea, or it could hook in here, right into New York City, or it could hook in, Massachusetts. So people, please be very mindful of this storm. Now I am concerned. Now I'm thinking, okay, we need to prepare now. Especially now, landfall will probably occur Sunday. Sunday midday, Sunday early morning probably. So look, this is Saturday afternoon. It's not even it's not even visible yet. Joaquin is off the charts here. 24 hours later, it already makes landfall. It's already inland. That is a very fast-moving storm. So it'll probably go slow, and then just speed up. That's exactly what the 1938 hurricane did. Instead of going north, instead of going hooking in, it went directly north, and that areas right east of the storm were devastated. So areas north of the storm need to be mindful for flooding. Areas southwest of the storm need to be mindful for flooding rains. Areas like New York City need to be mindful for wind damage, for flooding rains, for coastal flooding. So areas, that were already hit by Sandy might get hit again, and that is very concerning. And winds aloft are going to be screaming. I mean, look at this. So the winds, you know, since we're not going to be in the core of the storm, aloft will be 80, 90 knots. That's about 110-mile-an-hour winds. This is 925. This is about 2,000 feet up. Also winds very strong. 60, 70 knots, maybe even pushing 80 briefly. You know, that's Category 2 winds right there. So winds here, purples, 110 knots. That is a Category 3 storm. That's winds of Category 3 strength. So Delaware, it looks like Delaware is going to get the worst of the storm. Yeah, Delaware is going to get the worst of this. Looks like Annapolis. And then, you know, by the time it reaches Washington, D.C., the winds will significantly weaken, but it'll still be a powerful system. And now this is Joaquin, of course, extratropical now, still has strong winds. Yeah, so just big storm. And so a lot of flooding rains. Now Joaquin is extratropical. You could tell by the temperature aloft. So tropical, and then, you know, now it's extratropical. Still maybe a little core, you know, tropical temperatures aloft, warm temperatures aloft. So maybe it's still tropical storm. It may still be ruled as a tropical storm, or because of this, they could, you know, rule it as extratropical. User temperature is 700 millibars. User temperature is 850 millibars. That's so yeah. It's gonna be having a pretty cool core. Let me see. See that? Sorry, I'm not using Camtasia Studios, so I can't make, you know, a stable video. So sorry, it's shaky, but yes, based on this track, Joaquin could be another Sandy, but it will be a little further to the south. But the storm could just be as bad or worse. If it becomes a major hurricane and comes in as a major hurricane, big trouble. Well, thank you for watching. Have a great day.